I would say if you want to do it, just go for it. Don't wait for anyone's approval. Just follow your heart and really just dive into it. You know, you don't need to have a degree, you don't need to have a lot of money. If you have the passion and the drive, just start today and let people say what they want. Just keep on doing what you want to do.
Welcome to this episode of the Storytelling CEO, where we sit down with creators, innovators, and storytellers who are building careers by thinking differently and creating their own opportunities. Today's guest is someone whose career spans multiple corners of the entertainment industry. He is a New York-based actor, writer, producer, and published author whose work has appeared across feature films, scripted series, commercial projects, and the rapidly growing world of vertical dramas. Known for his compelling and often eccentric character portrayals, he has built a diverse body of work that can be seen on platforms including Amazon Video Prime, Real Shots, Drama Box, and more. Beyond acting, he is also the author of the poetry collection I'm Just Here, proving that his passion for storytelling extends far beyond the screen. Whether he's stepping into a role as an actor developing stories, as a writer producing projects from the ground up, or exploring the future of entertainment through vertical storytelling, he continues to push creative boundaries while building a career on his own terms. So today, we are going to talk about storytelling, entrepreneurship, acting, producing, writing, distribution, vertical dramas, and what it really takes to build a sustainable creative career in today's entertainment landscape. So, why don't you all join me, please, in welcoming our today's guest, Brian J. Mangam. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show here. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for being here. And so before we even go deep into this discussion, because I have like a whole array of questions, because we really want to get to know you. Before we go in, can you tell us who is Brian J. Mangum?
So I am, as you said, a New York-based actor, writer, producer. I am just a creative person overall. I really do love to dabble in any form of creative media, whether it being film or other sorts of visual arts and writing. And I'm just having fun with the journey.
Awesome, awesome. So at what point did you think that storytelling is something I want to do as a lifetime career? At what point did that happen to you?
Well, when I was a kid, I was always into the arts from a very young age. I think the first job I wanted to do was I wanted to be an architect, and I wanted to design buildings. And then I realized there was a lot of math involved in that. So I kind of got more into visual arts and writing. As a kid, I would write stories, I would create characters, I would start acting them out, and anything I can get my hands on, I would just jump right into. So I was always a dabbler, and it kind of just took me on this road throughout school and college and adulthood, where I just started trying every creative medium and seeing where it took me.
Interesting, interesting. So which came first? Was it writing or acting? Which was your first love?
So I would say my first love was writing. I really got into acting much later. To be honest, when I got into acting, I thought, oh, this isn't something that I'm gonna do long term. And it's 5 years later, I'm still with it. And out of all the creative things, that's the one I'm doing mostly now, which is very surprising to myself probably if I told myself as a kid what I'd be doing right now.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
So which of the projects did you do that made you think, you know what, I think I can do this professionally? What was the project for you?
Well, I would say it was a slow progression of confidence. When I first started acting, even if you want to call it that, I think when I first started, I was mostly just getting my toes wet. I was doing background work, getting a feel on set. I would apply to roles on backstage, and sometimes they were crew roles, being a PA, or they were looking for a background extra, or really anything I can get my hands on.
Interesting.
And from there, I kind of just built up my confidence.
Nice. So you pretty much did everything, like all the basics before I started like slowly climbing up the ladder.
I did a little bit of variety, and then I really liked acting. And the first few roles I did, I got some positive feedback from people, and they said, oh, you were really good with that role, and so on. And that kind of put me on the trajectory to just delve a little deeper. So when I first started, I was looking for, anything that was a speaking role. It didn't even have to be a speaking role. If it was just background or something with one line. And I would see bigger roles and they would terrify me. And then as I got more confident, I was like, well, look for a little bit of a bigger role, or this one has a couple scenes. And then the more I did it, the more comfortable I got with submitting to larger projects, and I would start submitting to projects that would film in other states. And now I pretty much just submit to anything I see. Sometimes I found that my worst enemy was getting in my own way. So now I don't think about it. I kind of set myself up so that if I submit quick enough before I start overthinking it, I'm like, you're gonna get yourself in trouble, but then it's like a challenge for me to actually accomplish.
Interesting. So you like, just do it.
Just do it. Don't think about it. I just jump right in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So now, like I said, I think your body of work is highly impressive. Like
Thank you.
Like doing a lot of things, and I was just going through, I was like, miniseries, feature film, short films, so many projects. And to me, that's highly impressive. And you did everything while being based in New York here. So my question is, because many people think they need Hollywood, they need to go over there to build a career in acting and filming, but you've built a substantial career here in New York. What do you think is the thing that people are getting wrong about the assumption?
Well, I think everyone's career is different, and there's no right or wrong with this, but for me, there's been so many opportunities here in New York. I mean, I look for jobs every day, and there's so much. Now, once you get to a certain point, if you're looking for the Hollywood roles, that's the place to go. However, with New York, there's a huge independent scene. There's a lot of verticals that shoot here in New York. There's commercial projects. And, I think we're in the creative capital for the whole country, really, with a lot of the traditional media. There's just so much. And I think nowadays, it's a little bit different, where you don't really need to be based in a certain city.
Interesting.
Now that we are totally mobile, as long as you have a phone, you can do an audition in a room somewhere. You can agree to work anywhere. So I say I'm local to any city that I need to be. And at this point in my career, I'm building connections, and I'm not really doing it for the money, because if you're doing the arts for the money, you're really in the wrong field. I mean, It's
Exactly.
it's tough. It really is tough.
Yeah, yeah. It's a grind on its own.
It is a grind.
You
Yeah.
need to be very passionate about it. You know, okay, I want to do this full time, and I think the joy of it is there's a type of freedom that you feel at the end of the journey compared to if you're not doing it. If you're doing something else, you'll be like, well, I just live the life that I just didn't feel it was purposeful.
Right.
So I think yeah, that's. But a lot of people won't really get it. Yeah.
A lot of people don't get it, and it's not for the faint of heart. But if you can hustle and you can really stay focused, then it could be very rewarding.
Exactly. I do believe that. I strongly believe that. Which one feels the most natural to you? Being an actor, a writer, or a producer? Which one comes to you more natural?
Well, I think each of those roles do fit a different part of my personality. And as a whole, I've never been one to really focus too much on labels, because I think at the end of the day, I'm just a creator. I'm a person who likes to create things. So I think the writing and the acting go hand in hand. And I think from a base point, I've always considered myself a writer. From there, the writing helps me with the acting. So when I think about acting roles, my favorite roles are always the ones that I can have some flexibility with the dialogue. When a director says, oh, you can ad-lib lines or you can improvise a scene, make it your own, that's what I love to do. That's the writer in me thinking, oh, how do I make this more dynamic? With the producer side, it's kind of the opposite, where that's the logical part of my brain trying to put structure to the whole thing.
Interesting. So, based on that now, which one do you think is the most challenging? Or based on your experience, which one is the most challenging to you?
Well, I think they are challenging in different ways.
Or have you ever worked on a project where you had to be all three in one? The writer, the actor, and the producer in one project?
I'm actually working on a feature film right now that's in development, and I'm wearing all three hats for it.
Interesting.
It's a thriller set in one location, and I am playing one of the main roles. The writing, I wrote the story for, and I actually hired a writer, a screenwriter, to write the first draft, because I know myself, acting in it and producing it, I do need at a certain point to kind of let someone else flesh out my ideas. So with that, we're kind of working together on the screenplay. And I think for this point in my career, I think I prefer to relent a little control and let someone else really take my vision so that I can continue growing. Because filmmaking is not one person. Filmmaking is a team.
Exactly.
And, you know, if you think you can do all of it just yourself, it's incredibly tough.
Yeah.
And it's also much more rewarding when you do have a great team that you can work with and kind of bounce off each other.
Yeah, you get to achieve more. And you don't feel the entire burden of trying to be everything.
Right.
Have there ever been moments where those three versions of you disagree with each other? You being a writer, a producer, and an actor.
There was one film project where I was both an actor and a producer, and I was pretty heavily involved with both aspects of it. And to be honest, it was a lot. They were very busy days. I was producing the whole project, so I was there for, I think it was all 15 days. And I was also acting in it. And I think my acting days were probably like 8 out of 15. So the days I was doing both were definitely grueling. And we did it. It was great. I had a lot of fun. But I think the producer side really kind of took over a bit in my brain. So it made the acting side a little bit tougher for me because I was thinking about the whole production in itself on top of my specific role. So I think it is something you have to get used to. I think if you're a producer, you're so focused on having the production go smoothly, having everything on time, and that is your main focus as a producer. So for that role, there were times where, as an actor, I had some ideas with the script, some takes that I wanted to do. The director had told me I was allowed to ad-lib some lines and some scenes. So I was having fun with that. But from a production standpoint, I knew that we had to get the shot done. There was a schedule, and that side of me had to reel myself back from wanting to kind of just do 12 different takes, with the one scene. So they can definitely conflict, but I think they could also work together. So it's finding that balance.
Yeah, I definitely do believe that, the balance aspect. But I've heard people say things like being a producer requires you to be an entrepreneur, like almost like the business side of the creative industry, filmmaking in this regard. Do you think being what do you think it takes to be that business person and also being a creative person? Because being a creative person, you just want freedom to do things, but being a business person, that might require you to meet deadlines, meet schedules, do this at this exact time, get people to be able to focus. So that would almost what do you think is the main difference? Do you agree with that kind of difference? Because this also would lead us to the next aspect of what I want us to talk about, which is the business aspect of storytelling. So do you agree with the fact that being a producer requires you to be like a business entity, and being a business entity in the creative industry, how does that go hand in hand?
So I think there is a synergy between the two sides. And I think as an actor, we don't always want to admit to it, but we are the CEOs of our own brand. I think most actors do want to focus on the craft, but I think the marketing of your brand, the business side of it is so important, because you can be the best actor in the world, or you can be the best writer in the world, or the best painter, or anything like that. If you don't know how to market yourself, and you don't know how to cast yourself and make opportunities and get your work seen, then it's like, well, what's the point? And obviously there is a point in making art for the sake of art, but I think, at the end of the day, we want to do this as a career and not just as a hobby.
Yes.
So for me, I do so much of my work looking for avenues, how to market myself, how to distribute my work. Where is this all going? And what are my next steps for my career? Because it's great to work on projects, but I have so many projects that I'm just worried that they're never going to see the light of day. And now I want to start making projects for myself that I can really get out there and share the world.
When you said you have some project, made me remember there was this interview I was watching with Ben Affleck, and he said he has like an array of body of work, close to like 50 movies, and he said of all those movies, there are like maybe 12 of them that he's like, I'm so proud of these movies. I want them out there. I want people to see. When I see them, I feel pumped up. I'm like, yeah, we did this. And then he said there are some of them that it's like, well, we just did it and it's okay. And they said there are like some, maybe like 15 or 20 of them that he's like, oh, we did this. I don't want no one to ever see this kind of movie. Like, no one should see it. Like, take down the poster, take down the billboard. Do you ever get that kind of feeling too with some of the projects that you've done?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about what I've done so far, because when I look at my resume, I think, oh, well, there's definitely things here.
Yeah, exactly.
But then when I start, becoming the critic of myself in there, I'm like, well, this project, I don't feel great about my performance. And this one, I barely had any screen time. And that one, I was listed on IMDb, but then I Google it and I can't find it. And you start thinking like, wow, I've done so many things, but I feel like I have so little to show for it.
Yeah.
And, some of it is slow and it takes time and being cast in something, sometimes I get cast in something and then it doesn't shoot until like a year later or 2 years later.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I kind of learned to let a lot of that go and to just focus on the work itself. And then, it's like whatever happens, happens.
I like that. So just let it go.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Because what that made me think of is it's mind blowing to me. Because like I said, and you guys can go online and double check. Like, he has like a huge body of work, and for him to think, oh, I've done so much and it's solely to show him, that means I was thinking you've done so much. Now I'm even thinking, damn, how much more have you done for you to have this much work out there and still feel like you haven't done so much? So to me, that's even much more, I find that inspiring. I find it's telling me, listen, you haven't done anything yet. You have to go do more stuff, because it's the truth. What we do as filmmakers is you want to do so. You might be lucky to hit the gold mine, and maybe at your first project, but if that doesn't happen, then you just have to keep doing it, and you don't know how much more you have to do before you hit the said gold mine. So to me, I find that actually really inspiring. But I want us to talk about distribution.
Sure.
Because I've seen a lot of your project in so many places. Prime Movies. I've seen it on Tubi. I've seen it on Reel. I've seen it on Drama Box. So it's something that I want us to just talk about. Like, a lot of filmmakers focus on just making the project, and they don't think about distribution until the very end. Do you think that's a mistake? Do you think they should start thinking of distribution from the beginning? Or do you think, what, just create the project, and when it's time for distribution, the right thing will happen? How do you go about that?
Well, I think that depends what your goal is for the film. I think if you want to make a film that's going to be distributed on a streaming service, for example, if you want to make a film and get it on Netflix, which incredibly tough, or anything like that. But you should probably start with your goal. If that's your goal, have it on Netflix. Start there and work backwards. If your goal is to release it on YouTube, then I would say find out what the requirements for YouTube are and work backwards. If it's to have it shown in a theater, okay, which theater, how many theaters? Always start with the end. Whether that means having it distributed on a large scale, or just showing it in a theater you rent out. Whatever that is, I would start backwards, because you don't want to make something and then think halfway through, well, this is what I want to do with it. Now I have to rewrite scenes in order to get it to where it needs to be, or recast roles because now, if I want to get it on some streaming service, I need to have, A-listers or B-listers or whoever it is. So I think that's really important to have your end goal in mind, whatever that may be. I've been in projects, or I've worked on projects where they were more open-ended, and look, you can have the most fun on those projects. I mean, when you don't have the strict requirements, you just get to do whatever you want. That could be the best experience ever. But when you start a project like that and you don't really know where it's going, and then you realize you want it a certain place, that could be a little complicated.
Interesting. That's really interesting. So what's one thing about the business side of filmmaking? What's one thing that you wish someone had taught you earlier, and you think if you had known this earlier, you would have done something different, you would have done things differently when it comes to distributing your film?
Well, I think something that I would have told myself earlier is more so the fact that, like we had said, it's a long, winding road with progress. And when I first started, I was always thinking, well, I need to get to X by a certain date. And if I don't get to that point, I'm going to give up. Something like that. I would have a lot of thoughts that it was all very time-based on progress. And the more I've done it, the more I realize that that road doesn't always make sense to outsiders. It can be a path of zigzags. And the point is that you should enjoy the process in whatever you're doing. So I think if I can tell myself that when I started, or even from a young age, if I could tell myself, it doesn't really matter which path you take, as long as you choose some path and you just go for it and you have fun with it and see where it takes you, I think I would have probably started sooner and just stuck to something, instead of thinking, I need to go to college for this in order to make it here. Because I feel like it's all a mirage when, you think you need to do this, and then you get there and you realize, well, that's not really what I want. I want this instead. And then you go for something else, and then you realize that, well, you know what? Every single day you should be enjoying what you're doing. And maybe that's the meaning of life. It
makes me, that response is so good. It's making me think about, like, sometimes I think about going to film school. If I tell someone who is in film school, like, you really don't need film school to make movies, you just need to make movies.
Right.
They will be like, no, I want to be in film school. So a lot of ideas could fall into that categories. A lot of business could fall into that category. A lot of things that we do could easily fall into that line where you think all the time that you spend in school, if you had just started working on it, you would have been much more farther.
Absolutely, yeah.
With the thing, which is it's really interesting. I'm going to ask you two questions, okay? It's like a two-in-one questions. What separates a filmmaker who consistently gets projects from who doesn't get projects all the time? What do you think separates them from, like, how does this filmmaker keep getting project and this one just gets stuck in that loop of just one business? Then also the second part of the question is, what's the thing that you think the new creators, what's the mistake that you see them, they keep making this mistake and they don't know that this is like a mistake? It's like a two-in-one question.
Sure. So I think for any creative field, especially if you're a filmmaker, if you're an actor, well, it may be a little bit different for each specific role, but for acting, for the most part, actors are trying to land roles. They're trying to audition, go out there, get seen. And it's tough. Mm-hmm. So I think for actors, a big thing is also creating your own work. So that's where the other side of me says, well, I want to start making my own projects. Because when you have to rely on other people for whatever that may be, it's out of your hands. You don't know what your next project is.
Yeah.
But when you fill in those gaps with your own projects, or you have filmmakers, you have friends that you can work with and create projects together, that helps you stay more stable and busy and be consistent. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of it in the creative field is the same way, where even if you're a director, you're trying to get attached to other people's visions, but then you're also working on your own films. And maybe it's a little bit of both, where you're collaborating in different ways and you're just kind of padding yourself so that you'd always have something that's coming up next.
Interesting. I really, I can appreciate that response. Do yours. Keep working on other people's project, but also keep doing yours too. So that way, when you're doing other people's projects, you're doing something. And when those projects are done, you could easily fall back on your own project.
Absolutely.
And keep yourself just moving. I really appreciate that. So let's go into vertical dramas. And you're one of the talents, one of the creative person that has seen that's spoken a lot about vertical dramas. And I just want to know, because I know that you've been heavily involved in it. Like, what first attracted you to the space of vertical drama?
Well, when I first got into it, I didn't really know what it was, to be honest. I submitted to a couple of years ago in 2024. They were on the casting sites, and they were listed as vertical short form TV shows. Didn't really know what they were. And when I started reading about them and seeing them, I thought they were so cool. I mean, the footage was great, and I remember as a kid growing up, my parents and grandparents, they used to watch soap operas on TV.
Yeah.
And it was these highly dramatic storylines. It's always chaos, it's always fun, it's always super off the wall.
And they're always into it.
They're into it, and people love them. Mm-hmm. So I started with a few, and to be honest, I've done 28, but I get day player roles, I get small supporting roles. I am super happy to be there wherever I am in the show. Mm-hmm. I've played a whole variety of characters, but I really like them because they're fast-paced and they're a lot of fun to be on. Yeah. It wasn't something I really knew I was going to get into, but the community keeps pulling me back in. And that's why I've spoken so much about them, is because people keep asking me about them. And when I compare it to other projects I've worked on, feature films and short films, sometimes they don't always get that much attention. But with the verticals, there's a huge fan base, and I get messages about them. I get requests for interviews about them. I mean, I'll have like one scene in a whole show and people want to know like, what's it about? Like, that's how much people are into these things. So I can really appreciate the commitment from the fan base. And that's something that I love because it's feedback for me when a lot of my other things are, you know, just out there and there's not always the biggest response to them.
Interesting. So now that most, you know, the majority traditional filmmaking has been built around horizontal screen, how does the vertical screening, you know, vertical drama, how does it change the way stories are being told now? How does it affect you as a creative person performing in it, and also the audience? Like, what kind of experience do you think they take out of it? Is it like an immersive one? Is it one that is just one that, oh, let's just see this drama, what's going on? Like, what kind of experience do you think they take from it, and how has that changed the way stories are being told?
So for the vertical dramas, the way they're shot is a little bit different in terms of the acting. You know, the frame is small, so it's super narrow. So there's not a lot of room for background. So, you know, it's a lot of single shots, a lot of close-up shots. So you have to be very still. I mean, if you move around too much, you're totally out of frame. The whole idea with the vertical dramas, you know, the episodes are 90 seconds. So they're designed for micro viewing. I mean, you can be in an elevator watching an episode. You can be, you know, waiting in line at the supermarket. You can be doing anything. You know, the whole idea is if you pick up your phone and you jump to any episode, you can go right back in. You know, these are good guys, these are bad guys, those two are in love, and it's all very coded in a way that's easily digestible. Now, I would say that's a good thing because you can watch them without audio. That's why they have subtitles. You can listen to them without video. You can jump right in, and you know, they have a big audience internationally because the dialogue is easy to understand and you kind of know what's going on. Now, on the flip side, you know, there are some restraints because when you dilute the stories, I think some of the complex storytelling gets lost a bit. And, you know, we are, I think as a society, kind of moving to this mobile first format in a lot of ways. So I'm hoping that we do get more complex storytelling with these vertical series as we move on. I know there's a lot of indie creators who are looking to kind of do a little bit more complex cinematic work with them. But I think this is something that is definitely here to stay. Not as a medium that will take over, but I think possibly with the future, I think we'll have diversity in, you know, we'll have verticals, we'll have horizontals, we'll have people that watch things in theaters at home on an iPad, on a computer, all sorts of different formats. And I think they're all here to stay. I don't think one is taking over another.
Interesting. So it's going to create its own medium, and people that want vertical will just go for verticals. People that want to go to theater will go to theater. People that want to watch TV will watch TV. And it's not like something that's trending that will just come, oh, it's just here for the trending period and then it's off.
Right. I think we're at a crossroads now, but I think all of the mediums will stay. And I think possibly the way we produce shows will change so that maybe shows are produced with the idea that they can be cut down to different formats.
Interesting.
So maybe they can air on a phone, they can air on, a TV in a theater.
That's really interesting. So let's talk about creating one now. Does it require, because I remember you said when you're acting, you can't take too much space because you're going to be out of frame.
Right.
So now, that's one of the things you have to keep in mind when you're trying to create a vertical drama. What other things do you keep in mind when you're creating one? Is the writing style different from the regular, writing for a regular horizontal drama? Is the filming style different? Is the distribution style different? Like, what other things do you factor into place when creating a vertical drama?
So for the vertical dramas, the way they're shot is a little bit different from films. They are generally shot with 3 cameras. So they're more akin to a soap opera or a studio sitcom. So the filming is really fast. We shoot a lot of pages per day. So you can do 20 pages plus per day, which is a lot more than normal films. And you shoot all the angles at once, and then you pick up close-ups generally later. I mean, there are some variables, but for the most part, the scenes are really quick. So it's a really great exercise for everyone involved. When you're shooting a whole series, I mean, this is like a feature-length film in 7 days, 8 days. So the crew is working hard, the cast are working hard, everyone is just go, 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 next scene's up, how are we filming this, how are we blocking it out? You'll film a scene in an hour. It'll be like, all right, let's do a table read, let's read through all the lines, and then next, let's rehearse it. We do a rehearsal, which is like a blocking rehearsal where the actors are getting their lines together while the camera team is getting their setup together. The lighting at the same time. It's like a rehearsal for everyone. And then in a couple minutes, I mean, you're going for a take and you do it a few tries. If you don't get it on the first few tries, there's enough angles to cut into, you get a few close-ups, and there's enough footage to kind of piece it all together to make a storyline that's really compelling. But to go back to the writing perspective, since they are short episodes, every episode has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So there's always these highly dramatic beats where maybe someone's getting slapped, or there's a plot twist, or something just off the rails. Another character enters the scene and throws off the whole dynamic. Every 2 minutes, there's something to keep you scrolling to the next episode.
Interesting. I like that. So it's just let's not waste too much time. Let's get it done real fast and move on to the next thing.
Yes.
So it's almost like the same thing that the producer, the actors, the same thing you guys are feeling is the same impact you're creating on the audience, because you want the audience to just come and watch it and move on to the next one.
Keep on going, keep the energy up, and escalate the energy. Which is interesting because sometimes you think, how do we get the energy even higher? And when you're acting in it, or even if you're watching it, you think like, wow, this is so dramatic. You're only on episode 3. We got how many more episodes to go? And it just keeps going more and higher and higher and higher.
Yeah. I think I came across something close once, and that was on Snapchat. It was an ad.
Okay.
So they ran the ad, and I was watching the vertical drama. And before I knew it, I was like, wait, 5 minutes into this? And before I knew it, I was like 15 minutes in. So once I was 15 minutes in, I was like, I might as well just watch the whole thing.
You have to finish it. Yeah, there's no choice. Can't go back.
Yeah. But I like us to talk about how you've been handling the craft yourself, how you handle yourself, especially the acting craft. You've played a lot of interesting characters. How do you approach building those characters, and what makes a character memorable to you?
Sure. So, in terms of building characters, what I do is I take a lighthearted approach often. I definitely try to get into the character's head a bit. When I get a script, I read the script once. Then I specifically focus on my character. I block out all the scenes. I, prepare each scene and think about what the beginning, middle, and end are and the objectives. I do all the character work like that. But I don't delve into it to the point where I feel bogged down with analysis. Having experience in playing different characters, you start to realize that a lot of characters are based in what you already know. And so what I try to do is I try to find something I can relate to and build from there. And when you read a script and you see the character, you think, well, maybe I've seen this character before. Maybe I've played this character before. And then I take that, but then I tweak it. And each character I have, I try to do something a little bit different from the last, from something that I've already tested out. So for me, I try to keep on going, and I try to just keep building, and I don't overthink it, because I work on so many projects. I'm auditioning for things at the same time. I think having instincts is super important. So I find that, don't overthink it. Just go right in, have a good idea of who that character is, and just live it. And from there, I take it and see how far I can go.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting take. Like, don't overthink it, just do it and just embody the character as good as you can.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So have you ever played a character that stayed with you long after production wrapped?
I think there's a big difference in playing comedy versus drama. I would say definitely if you're playing a character that's heavy, it does stick with you a bit.
Heavy in what sense?
Heavy, whether it's a tormented character, someone with psychological issues, or angry, or violent, or something like that. You definitely have a little bit of a period where you need to cool down, I think. I try to ditch that as soon as possible. I think, in general, when I'm on set, I'm in a bit of a heightened state of reality. So I always have a hard time sleeping for that night, the next few days. There's a lot going on when you're on set in general. And you're trying to give a great performance in character, but you're also trying to give a great performance as a human being, as a person going to work and meeting new people, and it's just a chaotic environment. So I think the comedic characters are really where I love to be, because if a character's funny, I can just kind of enjoy maybe the lightheartedness of the afterglow of that character. Whereas an angry character, you don't want to hold on to that. You want to dump that as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. When you said if it's a comedic character, it's even going to make your day better than staying in that character after production wrap. But you said something about not being able to sleep or not wanting to sleep for a couple of days. Is that after production is wrapped? you just don't sleep after production is wrapped, and is it because of the character, or is just you just not wanting to sleep?
Well, it's definitely, so it's not the character. I would say the more I've worked as an actor and the more I've been in this field, I've had to learn a lot about the grind and the industry itself. I think the industry itself can be, it can be tough. And I think I'm a person who I can get so into, when I'm on set, their energy is so intense that I feel like I'm on a high when I'm in the scene on set. And I definitely have a hard time getting back to normal. And I think the more I've done it, it's something I've had to get used to. But when you film projects back to back to back and you don't have that time in between, so, every day is like a learning process in what I need to do to kind of get back to myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to have that time period. Maybe you have a couple of days where you can take a break, go for a walk, not have any obligations to do. But I've been hustling, and definitely staying focused is one of the hardest things.
When you spoke about the grind and just staying focused, staying in the process, it made me think about when we see people who are like on top of the game. At what point do you think hard work plays in, and at what point do you think luck plays in? Do you get lucky at some point? Because I've heard people say luck is when hard work meets with preparation.
I think with anything, sometimes we get lucky, sometimes we don't. I would say luck is a very small part of it. I think most of it is skill, work ethic, dedication, preparation, having money to put into it. There's definitely some luck, some of it's networking, who you know, just making friends. I think people forget that making friends is networking. Like showing up on time. It's good to know people. What that means is it's good to make friends with people.
What's the thing that draws you to a project? What do you see in a project that makes you say, I want to be a part of this production. I want to be a part of this story. I want to be a part of this project. I want to work with this director, producer, whatever it is. What's the thing that draws you to a project?
Well, I think as an actor, for me, my bar is pretty low I'm at the stage in my career where if I'm invited to a role, if someone wants me, if I'm getting paid for it, if it's a feature film that's going anywhere, I want to be in it. I am pretty excited about almost anything that I can get my hands on. I just really love being on set. Nice. With that being said, I think my dream role would be to be in a comedy series.
Oh, wow.
I want to be on TV on either a major network or a streaming service. I mean, my dream role, to add another dream to it, would be to be on a sitcom, like a studio sitcom.
Okay.
Now, it's tough now because I love shows that I grew up with, or shows that are even before my time, but Seinfeld and Frasier and the heyday of sitcoms in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. I love those shows, and they really, I want to say they don't exist. I mean, there's a few, but
yeah, there's a few.
There's hardly any, and they haven't really moved over to streaming. Where
What do you think changed that?
Well, I think as a whole, I mean, if you look at the numbers, comedy in general, I don't want to say it's on a decline, but there's not as many comedy shows being greenlit as dramatic shows.
Sure.
And, comedy in general has moved to more of a single camera setup where we had a lot of mockumentaries that came through the years. Mm-hmm. The Office came, and then there's a lot of shows in that format. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at this point now the mockumentary is almost dead, to the point where we're waiting for like the next big thing for comedy.
So, of all the movies that you mentioned that you want that the audience should be expecting, what's the thing that you want them to get the most excited about?
Which role?
The projects that you have, your upcoming projects.
Well, from previous experience, I
mean, what do you want them to be excited about? But most importantly, what are you most excited about with these roles?
What I'm excited about mm-hmm. is whichever of my films get released first, because I know from experience, I have a lot of projects that I would love to talk about them mm-hmm. and pitch them, mm-hmm. but I don't know if they're close to being released. You reach out, you're like, is this film coming out? There's a lot of question marks. So it's like I have some projects I'm really excited about, mm-hmm. and I just don't know if they're on their way or not. I don't know if they're shelved. I've learned to not care so much. The thing with the verticals is that they almost always get released. And that's why I'm drawn to them, because I know you work on them 2 months later, I can expect them to be on the apps. Mm-hmm. I have a few roles, a few comedy roles, and a few dramatic roles. There's one film that's actually premiering. It premiered in New York last month. It's called The Random Guest, okay. and it's being shown on Long Island this month. And I have 2 quick scenes, a small speaking role. I'm hoping that's on a streaming service that will be new for me. So I don't want to say it too soon, but some of my projects are on Amazon and Tubi. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for an additional service, which I think may be true, but we will see. We will see.
That's good. That's
yeah.
Good. All right. So I have some rapid fire questions
yes.
for you. 8 of them or 9 of them.
Let's go.
And we'll just go for it.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite actor?
Favorite actor. Okay, so I love the comedy actors. My favorite show is Arrested Development. I love Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, all of them.
I love Jason Bateman so much.
Tony Hale. I mean, every actor in that show, an actress.
Favorite filmmaker?
Favorite filmmaker. Okay, there's a few. Terrence Malick, Paul Thomas Anderson. I love Darren Aronofsky. Those are probably my top 3.
Favorite television series?
Television series. Like I said, Arrested Development. I love Breaking Bad. I love Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love It's Always Sunny.
In Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia, yes.
Most underrated movie?
Underrated movie. Wow. The first movie that came to mind, I really love this movie called Tape. It is directed by Richard Linklater, I believe. It's set in one hotel room. I love movies set in one room. It's really contained and the characters just play off each other.
Interesting. One book every storyteller should read.
One book. Wow. I really should read more. I love Lord of the Flies. Mm-hmm. I think it tells us a lot about humanity. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best piece of advice. Whatever you're doing, just keep on going.
Amen to that. One thing you wish every filmmaker.
It's filmmaking's a journey, and there's no right or wrong. There's no set path. You may think you want one thing and you get there and you want something else, but you know what? That's all part of the process.
Well said. Dream role.
Dream role. Put me on a sitcom. I would love to be on a soap opera, on Law and Order, one of those three, something like that.
What's next for Brian?
What's next? I'm gonna keep on going. I'm auditioning every single day. I have a bunch of roles. I have at least 5 or 6 roles I'm cast in that I'm waiting for dates to be locked in. And hopefully you'll see me on the screen soon. So
We're looking forward.
Looking forward.
Yeah. So now on this show, we believe every storyteller is the CEO of their own creative vision. So if you could leave creators and audience watching out there with one message about pursuing their craft, building their career, and staying committed to their voice even when the industry says no, what will that message be?
I would say, if you want to do it, just go for it. Don't wait for anyone's approval. Just follow your heart and really just dive into it. You know, you don't need to have a degree. You don't need to have a lot of money. If you have the passion and the drive, just start today. And you know, let people say what they want. Just keep on doing what you want to do.
I can't wait to see where life journey will take you with all of this. So I just want to thank you for coming on this show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Dapo, for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.